Hello friends, welcome to the Crime Diaries channel. Today's story is from Delhi. There is an area in Delhi, Neb Sarai. This incident happened on April 28, 2017. Some family lived in the Neb Sarai area of Delhi. 86-year-old woman in the family, Sam, is 51 years old. His son Surjit Sam, his 48-year-old wife Sharmista Sam, and their 16-year-old daughter Surjit Sam were married to Sharmista Sam 21 years ago. This family is originally from Kolkata, West Bengal. Surjit's mother, Sam, March 2022 with age, her need for care started increasing and Surjit started worrying about her. So he called his mother from Kolkata to Delhi to live with him so that he could take better care of her and stay close to her. To take care of them, Surjit had kept his mother in a rented one-bedroom flat just opposite his flat. Sam was suffering from arthritis for a long time and had difficulty walking. She could not walk without a stick or any support. Due to the height of the bathroom in the flat in which Surjit lived, his mother had difficulty using the bathroom, so Surjit rented the opposite flat for her so that it would be easier for her to reach places like the bathroom and kitchen. On April 28, 2017, DCP Chandan Chaudhary was busy in his work at Neb Sarai police station when a constable came to him and informed him that a call had come from the Neb Sarai area in which it was told that a woman had fallen and died. DCP Chandan Chaudhary reaches the spot with his team. Let me tell you that this incident took place in Surjit Sam's house. His mother fell in the kitchen of the flat and died, and Surjit had informed the police. Now the police were investigating the case. When the son interrogated Surjit Sam, he told him that his mother was doing some work in the kitchen. While working, her foot slipped and she fell, due to which she suffered many injuries on her face and skull, and she died. Son Surjit Sam further told that his mother was suffering from arthritis for a long time and she had difficulty walking. She could not walk without a stick or support. Apart from this, he told me that in October 2022, his mother had also fallen in the washroom. The police did the panchnama of the dead body and sent the body for a postmortem. When the police investigated the house, they found a CCTV camera on a table next to the bed, but there was no storage device in the camera. Police also found it in there. When inquired about the CCTV taken into possession, Surjit Sam told them that he has live access to the camera on his phone, as he used to keep an eye on his mother's daily routine. He further told me that due to a power cut on the day of the incident, the camera was not working. Police considered the incident to be an accident and registered a case. In the preliminary investigation, it was considered an accident, and on the same basis, action was initiated. A postmortem was conducted at AIMS Hospital on April 19th. The doctors said that under normal circumstances it is not possible for the deceased to get injured, which means that perhaps there could be some untoward or external reason behind the death because these injuries were not caused by any ordinary or natural reason. After this report of the doctors, the police started investigating the case seriously and expanded the scope of the investigation. During the investigation, the police first started interrogating the family of the deceased. When Surjit's 16-year-old daughter was questioned, she revealed that her mother Sharmista and grandmother Sam's relations between the two were never good. Her mother, Sharmista, did not like her mother-in-law, and there was often friction between the two. This information was important for the police because it indicated family tension. On April 28th, the day of the incident, the house was only Sharmista was present in her flat. The police found that the deceased's flat was locked from outside, and the keys were found inside Sharmista's flat. These circumstances made the police even more suspicious. As the investigation progressed, Surjit hid important information, but later it was revealed that before informing the police on the day of the incident, he had taken out the memory card of the CCTV camera kept on the table in his mother's bedroom. This was very suspicious for the police because why did Surjit not tell this earlier? When the police interrogated Surjit carefully and asked him to know in detail about the memory card, he did not give a clear answer. This further deepened the suspicion of the police that only the person who took out the memory card could be involved in this crime. This made the police suspect that whoever had taken out the memory card could be involved in carrying out this crime. There were 3 people in the house at that time: Surjit, his daughter-in-law Sharmista, and his granddaughter. But on the day of the incident, Only Sharmista was in the house. The needle of suspicion was turned on Sharmista. When Sharmista was strictly interrogated, a story came to light. On April 28th, around 10:30 a.m., Sharmista entered Sansa's flat with a frying pan in her hand. She locked the door from inside. Sansa was in the kitchen. Sharmista picked up the frying pan and hit Sansa several times. She also hit Sansa with the cooker. She continued to beat Sansa until she died. When Sansa's breathing stopped, she called her husband and told that the mother-in-law has died due to the fall. You immediately left for home. When Surjit returned home and checked the footage of the CCTV camera, he came to know the truth about his wife Sharmista. In the footage, he saw that Sharmista had raped her. Mother-in-law Sam was attacked several times, and her screams were also heard. After this, Sharmista was seen cleaning the frying pan with a cloth, which made it clear that she had attacked her mother-in-law. Seeing all this, Surjit was deeply shocked, and he became very angry, and in anger he even slapped his wife Sharmista 2-3 times. But at that time he did not decide that he would send his wife to jail. It was difficult for Surjit to take this decision because on one hand, there was the death of his mother, and on the other hand, his wife, with whom he had been living for years, was in a dilemma as to what to do as he felt emotionally trapped. He immediately deleted all the evidence from the house, made the CCTV memory card disappear, and blamed the utensils. The daughter-in-law immediately made it clear that even the son prepared footage of October last year in which an elderly woman had fallen to mislead the police. The police immediately arrested Sharmista. The reason for the murder was quite shocking. Sharmista and her mother-in-law were shocked. She wanted to send Sam to the old-age home, but Surjit was not ready for it. Instead of sending her mother to the old-age home, Surjit had rented a separate flat nearby for her so that she could be easily taken care of. This decision was for Sharmista. Mandawali is an area in Delhi. This incident took place on September 26, 2017. In this area, Swarna Kapoor was living with her son Sumit, daughter-in-law Kanchan, and 3 grandchildren in a 2-story building. I have an elderly mother who lives on the ground floor, and on the upper floor, the man himself, his wife, and 3 small children aged between 5 and 6 years live in his entire family. Sumit is from the office. After completing the work, when Sumit reached home late at night, as soon as he opened the door of the house, his breath got stuck after seeing the condition inside. Seeing the scene in front of him, his steps stopped there, and a scream came out of his mouth. He ran out in panic, and later he shouts and calls people. People gather nearby. Hearing the husband's screams, his wife, who lives on the floor above, also comes out, and then she sees the dead body of her elderly mother-in-law lying in front. That is, the dead body of Sumit. This was that of an elderly mother. Her dead body was lying in an unburned condition, and apart from this, there was no such thing at the scene of the crime. The clothes of the woman were also in order, and there was no visible mark of any injury on her body. It was even more horrifying because there was no indication that anyone had attacked the woman or that there was any violence behind her death. Sumit felt that perhaps an accident or a thief had taken his mother's life. Sumit immediately called the PCR and informed the police about the matter. The police of the Mandawali police station in East Delhi immediately reached the spot. When the police reached, initially they also did not see the reason behind the death. The police start investigating the matter. When she visits the scene of the crime, she notices some things and looks at some things very carefully, but then something was seen that surprised everyone. The team of the Foreign Crime Department also reached the spot and collected the evidence. Every nook and cranny of the house was being searched in the search. The police were sure that if it was a murder, then the murderer must have left some hole or the other. Meanwhile, the interrogation of the people of the house also started, and then a policeman found the dead body of the woman. There was a strong smell of mustard oil. The body of an elderly woman was in a half-burnt condition. Generally, any oil is inflammable, but the inflammability of all oils is not the same. Like kerosene, petrol, or diesel are highly inflammable and they catch fire quickly. Whereas mustard oil is relatively less inflammable, mustard oil has more viscosity and it burns slowly, due to which the intensity of fire does not become that high. Perhaps this is the reason why mustard oil completely burns the dead body. Even though the fire had started, its intensity was not sufficient to destroy the corpse completely. As a result, some parts of the body were still left, and the corpse could not be completely converted into ashes. The attempt to burn the body remained incomplete, which indicates that either its inflammability was not sufficient to destroy the body completely. The stick that belonged to the old woman was lying near the dead body, so this in itself was very dangerous. One strange thing was that, after looking at the scene of the crime, it was difficult to understand what happened to this woman. Did someone come from outside and take the woman's life? Or was it an accidental death? When the police immediately reached the kitchen of the house, they saw there was a half-empty bottle of oil kept in the kitchen with its lid open. Apart from this, all the things were kept properly, and nothing was seen wrong here and there. So the police get confused after seeing all this. The police do not understand that this is the case. Is it an accidental death, or is it a murder? The police also suspected that this incident of murder was committed by someone inside the house. But the police were surprised that the house in which this woman died. There is another woman in the same house, and she was living with her 3 small children. Well, the children were quite small. The woman, i.e. Sumit's wife, how did she not even once come to know that her mother-in-law, who lives on the ground floor, was living with her? Did some untoward incident happen? Did someone come and kill her? Or did she accidentally become a victim of the fire? How did this happen? Did she not make any noise? All these things were shocking the police. Seeing this whole scene, the police felt that it was believed that an insider may also have a hand in this matter, and it is also possible that there may be an outsider, so the police first interrogated the daughter-in-law whose elderly mother-in-law died. Her name was Swarna Kapoor, and the name of the daughter-in-law is Kanchan. The police interrogate Kanchan and ask Kanchan, "How come you did not hear any screams even once? You did not hear any sound or anything. Your mother-in-law, who is downstairs, died after lying down." Kanchan says, "That I actually did not hear any screams because I was on the upper floor and I have 3 small children. I was busy with them, taking care of them, putting them to sleep, and I did not know this at all. I came to know this only when my husband came home and I heard his screams. Then I thought, what has happened? Then I came down and saw all this, and then the police asked, what do you think would have happened? That is, who would have entered the house like this?" The woman said too. One thing the woman said was that it was possible that some person from outside might have come who had taken away my life and had intended to rob me but had not succeeded. One thing could be this, and secondly, I feel that perhaps she was trying to do some work in the kitchen when mustard oil fell on her, due to which she got burned in the grip of fire, so the police could not believe these 2 things very much. They gave 2 reasons, but the police were not able to believe his reason because none of the things in the house were scattered. If someone makes such a claim, then obviously the police verify it, whether it is CCTV footage or by questioning the people nearby. Even in this type of investigation, the police did not see any suspicious activity in the surrounding area in the CCTV footage. No household items were scattered, so the police could not understand anything like robbery, and it was an accident. It also seemed very strange because it does not usually happen that mustard oil falls on someone and someone becomes a victim of fire. That is, we have seen and heard of people getting burned due to gas, we have seen and heard of people getting burned due to kerosene, but some people get burned due to mustard oil. It is a very strange thing to get burned, so the police was a little surprised and a little worried about this too. So anyway, the police were still exploring all the options, and while exploring, the police also talked to Sumit, Swarna Kapoor's son. Police came to know about him that he works in a fast food joint and has a small job, and he is the only earning member of the house, and he has the responsibility of the entire family, his wife, 3 small children, and an elderly mother. Sumit is very busy and returns late every night. Now the police interrogate Sumit to tell him how his mother-in-law's relationship with his wife is. Sumit initially hesitates a little in his eyes. There is a slight uneasiness visible in him, as if he is thinking about how to answer. He remains silent for a while but then slowly starts speaking. "The relationship between my wife and my mother is not good. There are fights, and the reason for the fights is our younger ones. You know that we have small children and we cry often. But my mother is angry with the fact that my wife is not able to handle the children properly. There are often fights between mother-in-law and daughter-in-law over small things like this. It happens that the mother feels that the children are not being brought up properly, and the wife feels that the mother interferes too much." Now the pain was clearly visible in his voice, as if he was trying to understand both parties but himself got confused. I feel that when the police came to know about this, the police also came to know that there was bitterness in that family. Now the police have decided that Kanchan will have to be interrogated again. After the earlier interrogation, the police became aware of Kanchan's words. Something seemed suspicious, so this time they planned to surround her with solid questions. When the police interrogate Kanchan again, Kanchan presents a new story and some arguments to the police. Kanchan said that her mother-in-law's death was an unfortunate incident, and he did not do anything intentionally wrong in any way, but the police refuted his entire theory in a solid and logical manner. The first thing the police said is that you are saying that it was an accident, but the evidence found at the incident site does not point to any accident. The marks on the body indicate conflict and violence, and you had not told this earlier also. Secondly, the police surrounded Kanchan on her timeline at the time given by you. There are many holes in the line. You said that your mother-in-law suddenly collapsed, but the post-mortem report says something else. The time of her death and your testimony do not match. Thirdly, the police also questioned her on the events revealed in her story. You repeatedly say that you used to have fights with your mother-in-law because of children, but there is no concrete evidence to prove that on that day there was any fight that escalated so much that this accident happened. The police told Kanchan in clear words, "Your story does not seem close to the truth to us. Every statement you have given does not match with the evidence." When the police interrogated her strictly, she confessed that her mother-in-law was neither a stranger nor an outsider. Neither was there any accident, but he himself had taken the life of his mother-in-law, and in anger he killed her. Now that Kanchan had confessed to her crime, the police had to know the whole story, and Kanchan had no other option left except to tell the truth. So the police asked Kanchan how she killed her mother-in-law, and Kanchan told them that she does not have a very good conversation with her mother-in-law. There is often discord between us. There are fights. That day my son was crying loudly and was adamant. He was not agreeing, so to control him, I slapped him, and when I slapped, my mother-in-law took notice of it. She protested very loudly. She scolded me, and this displeased me. I got angry, and in that anger, I snatched her walking stick from her and hit her on the head, and as soon as I hit her on the head, she fell down and became unconscious. It happened. I did not intend to kill her, but I was thinking that if she comes back from unconsciousness, then obviously she will tell all these things to her son, i.e. my husband, and then it will be very difficult for me to answer. Then I decided that why not turn his unconsciousness into his death, and with this intention, I tried to burn him by setting fire to whatever things were there in his kitchen, be it oil or anything else. I tried a lot, but I could not find any material with which I could burn them completely, so finally I got a bottle of mustard oil. From that bottle, I poured as much oil as I could on them and set them on fire, and I went upstairs. I went, and all this happened within hardly 15 to 20 minutes. After this, because I had committed this incident, I was afraid of being caught, so I remained quietly in my room. But when my husband returned home, I heard his scream. So I also had to come out, then I came out, and after that I was continuously lying about this matter till I was caught. Then the police heard all these things, and to verify this thing, the police took the things that she said. The police checked the scene of the crime and found that the walking stick of the elderly woman was actually cracked, and the crack had come because Kanchan had hit the woman on the head with the walking stick very hard. Because of that attack, the walking stick was cracked. When the post-mortem was done, forensic experts also found marks of being hit on the woman's head, which was proof that Kanchan had murdered her mother-in-law. If I am saying the right thing about it, then it was a confession of a criminal on the basis of which the police arrested that woman. This story shows how dangerous deep differences and conflicts within the family can be. Small fights and disagreements can escalate into serious ones. Evidence can take the form of a crime. The importance of evidence is immense in the investigation of a crime. This story also shows how evidence of a burnt corpse, such as the smell of mustard oil, can reveal the truth of the crime. Vigilance and analytical approach of the police. The truth came out of this incident. It shows that it can be wrong to reach conclusions without complete information, and justice can be achieved only on the basis of proper investigation and evidence. This incident also reminds us that it is important to uncover the truth behind any crime. and it is the responsibility of every citizen to cooperate in the process of justice. In the story of Surjit Sam and Hash Sam, Surjit Sam rented a separate flat to take care of his mother, which makes it clear that taking care of the family and their convenience is important. How important it is. It teaches the audience that family responsibilities should be taken seriously and elders should be taken special care of. Surjit took the right decision by understanding his mother's needs. This shows how much anticipation and quick thinking can help in finding solutions to problems. Vigilance in personal and family relationships is important. Through these stories, one gets to understand the importance of responsibility and honesty. Thank you for listening to our story. I will return again with similar true incidents and lessons. Till then, stay safe and alert, and keep in mind how important it is to take the right steps in any suspicious situation.